This week, my Working with Work series returns, and it returns with one of my favourite apps that I use every single day, and that is the journaling app Day 1. And what I want to do in this episode is to show you how I use Day 1 on a day-to-day basis, how I use it to log my exercise routines as well as my day-to-day, and also how I use it to build my own daily routines and my daily habits, if you like, my morning ritual. It's all in Day 1 because I find that using Day 1's templates, you can get a lot of information into a daily journal. And I just think it's a fantastic app for keeping a record of the things that you really want to keep track of, rather than using a to-do list manager where once you've checked something off, it disappears. So let me take you into my Day 1, and I'm going to show you how I have it set up and how I use it on a day-to-day basis. Okay, so what you can do in Day 1, as I mentioned in the introduction, is you can create templates. Now, this is my actual daily template. So I have a daily headline here, which I've set up. I've got what will I accomplish today. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm transferring into my Day 1 every single day my 2 objectives for the day. I also have one here which is what do I need to improve. Now there's always something that I need to improve. At the moment I'm struggling to sleep at night. I think it's possibly the changing season, the temperature's getting a bit warm, so at night time it's a bit hot. Maybe that's the reason. And then down here I've got my morning routines, and this is why I don't use Todoist to manage my morning routines. I much prefer to manage my morning routines in my Day 1 journal, simply because that allows me to be able to create a template every single day, and then I've got a check. Now the thing by doing it in Todoist is that once you've checked everything off, it disappears. I can then, if I do a weekly review or I want to review my week, I can go through this and to make sure that I've done these every day. To be honest, I don't actually need to refer to the checklist. I know about when I wake up in the morning, I make coffee, I do my stretches, I have a series of stretches for my shoulders that I do every day. I've got my 10 minutes meditation, then I check my email, and then I write my journal. In total, that takes about 30 to 35 minutes, and that's my morning routine. I also like to keep a record of what exercise I've done for the day, which you can see down here at the bottom. So this is my template. Now, to create a template, by the way, if you are using Day 1, to create a template, if you just go into template into the preferences, you can go along the top here you've got templates, and you can create a new one. Now here's the one I'm using here. This is just I can edit this. Now I can just add in what is this? This is just a sample. I'm in Korean. So this is just a sample, and I've updated that one, and so I can just create a sample in here. Now I have used one for this is just a copy of my Q2 Day 20, which is here. I don't really want to show you that because it's very, very personal. Of course, this is my personal journal, so that's why I'm just using this sample. But what you can see is you've got a gallery of them, and you can create all sorts of ones right in here. I've just edited the gallery. By the way, you select a gallery, you select one of the templates in the gallery, and then you can edit it. And this is how I came up with my daily template. And you can create this, you can create as many of these checklists as you want, but it keeps me being able to manage my daily routines. It helps me to focus on what I need to improve. So when I do my weekly planning session and I do my kind of like, if you like, the weekly review, this is an area that I look at simply because I want to see what areas I want to improve. Now there are other things, of course, that you can do with Day 1. One of the things that I also do, and I'll show you this one, which is my health and fitness. So this is my exercise. Now when I started doing this, I only started doing this I think at the end of April, and so I started adding in my exercise in here. What I've started doing since last week is I've started adding in the screenshot of my activity from my phone. So I've got it in here. I can actually keep track of what I've done. I've also got like observations, and again this is based on a template that I've created right in there. So those are the things that you can actually use. And like from 2009 I started doing this in December, and it was really quite good fun. So I started doing this properly from the end of December. So I've got like when my wife and I went to Dublin, it was my wife's first time in Yorkshire, so I'm adding pictures from that. This is from a workshop that we did up in Scunthorpe, those of you who were there, know about that one. And then we had a day out in Yorkshire where we had fish and chips and also, and I just added the photographs from that particular day. So there's all sorts of things that you can actually put in there. And this was when I was just trialing it, and then from the beginning of January 1st I have kept it up every single day since the beginning of the day. So what I've done, I've been developing this over the last few months, over the last 5 months, and I've got it down to where I really like it. I like to add a photograph every single day, which I've been doing, and I add that up here, and I can add my thoughts, my ideas, anything else I want to keep in here, and then I've got my record. And this is why I think day one is a much better place, or something similar to this, where you can create a template for every single day, and it is a way of being able to track your progress. You can add in goals and how you're progressing, but it's just a really simple yet powerful little application that you can get so much from it. And I've got a memorabilia here, so little things like if somebody says something really nice on Twitter about a course, or I got a retweet, or I got a message from one of my favorite music producers, I can drop them in there, and it's just really, really, really nice way of keeping those memories. And if somebody sends you a nice card or a nice letter, you can take a photograph of it and add it in there. So there you go. That's just something I really wanted to share with you, because I know I get a lot of questions about how do you track your morning routines and your evening routines. Then this is actually probably one of the best ways of doing it, because it is a good way of keeping track, and you've got then a record of something, and you can actually track your progress over the years. So there you go. I just wanted to add that as a special episode this week. So thank you very much for watching, and it just remains for me now to wish you all a very, very productive week. Well, thank you very much for watching this video. Now, I'd like to introduce you to a brand new way of managing your tasks. Now, this system is called the time sector system. It's designed to do away with your projects, to do away with your goals, or at least do away with them from your time management system, your to-do list manager, and instead focuses on when you are going to do the task. Now, the reason for this is from a research that I did for the whole of last year, figuring out why most people were really struggling with their task, getting their task done on a day-to-day basis. What I discovered was they were managing their task by project. And the biggest problem with managing tasks by project is, first of all, deciding whether a task is a project or not. 2 or more tasks becomes a project, which means that you end up with a huge project list. And once you have a huge project list, just managing that list takes up an awesome amount of time. Time you could better be spent actually doing the work, not organizing. The time sector method is designed to do away with all that processing, so that the only decision you have to make is when are you going to do a task. And let's be honest, it doesn't matter how motivated, inspired, how urgent a task is. If you don't have time to do it, it is never going to get done. So I have launched a brand new course that gives you the step-by-step approach of setting up the time sector method. It's a revolutionary course. It's designed for the 21st century, for all the inputs that we get today, all the emails, the Slack messages, and everything else that comes our way. It's designed to deal with that, to manage that, so you stay focused on what you have identified are your most important tasks for the day. I'd love to see you in the course. Full details of the course are in the show notes below. I'd love you to check it out. Join me in the course, and let's take your productivity to a greater level than you've ever imagined. Well, thank you very much for watching this video. I just wish you all a very, very productive week.